Alright, so let's render out that texture. So let me select that camera here and go to the quad view. And then again I'm going here under the top view to the panel and go to perspective and say camera 1. And obviously I could also turn off the reference image, and obviously the camera has to be moved up to a point where you can see everything from those numbers and that stuff. Something like that. And now we go into the render settings and set this back to a 4K square. Oh, not 4K. And target quality is still set to production. Alright. So let me open up the render window. And then we're gonna render that camera out. So go to render camera 1 and render this. Yeah, so here's my render. Yeah, let me save that image here, save image, and we put that again to our images folder, and we call this outer ring texture 01, and save that as a target. So then I can close that up here. Now let me, for performance sake here, select all of those objects here and then hit 1 to go to low poly view, and then put those on the layer as well and hide those. So that should give me a quicker computer right now. Okay, so with that done, we have to do, we take that ring on, we want to put that texture here on that ring. What we have to do now is go to the UV texture editor, go to polygons, go to edit UVs, UV texture editor, and we want the UV snapshot of this guy here. So go here to polygons, UV snapshot, and then we say outer ring out UV. That's perfect. It's a 4K map, it's a targa, say OK. And then we should see down here that it's saved out. Alright, so we can close that up. And now we are ready to go into Photoshop and bring that into position. But before we do that, let's first check out where exactly we have to put those that texture later on. So if I select that edge ring here, and if I take a look at the reference image, so if I hit 3 to smooth that out, it should be somewhere. If you take a look at this edge loop here, so let me select it. Yeah, so if I hit 3 and smooth that, so it's going down here. And so we have to let's take this edge loop here, hit 3. So yeah, that's our line, where we have to put our texture on. So let's try that out. Maybe you right now you don't know what I'm talking about, but later on you will see this in Photoshop. Okay. Yeah, so here in Photoshop, let's bring in our texture. We got that under images this time. So we want the outer ring texture and the outer ring out UV. Bring both in. And again, we take our UV snapshot here, hit Ctrl A, hit Ctrl C to copy, and then click here on your texture and hit Ctrl V to paste that in here. And now we drop down the opacity of that layer here, and then we take our background layer here, double click on that, and let me zoom in here. So we might scale that layer down a little bit, because that was the line in Maya I was talking about. So this should sit here somewhere at this line. So we have to scale that down just a tiny bit and check that out, how that looks when we put that on a shader later on. So with that layer selected, hit Control T to transform, and then Alt and Shift, and then we scale that in just slightly like that. So let me zoom in on that to see what's going on. Yeah, that should be good. So now let me hit enter, and then we hide that UV snapshot, and then you see we have some empty space here at the borders because we scaled that down. So all we need to do is create a new layer, and then fill that layer with white. So switch here to white, and then take your paint bucket tool and click that to white. And obviously this has that white layer has to be underneath our layer 0 here, and there you go. And now let's save this out as a targa. So save as, and we put that to our source images folder, outer ring texture. Let's call this 2, and let's select targa and save and say OK. Alright. So now let's get back to Maya and bring that texture on a shader. Alright, so here in Maya we go to Hypershade, and then let's create a layered shader. So click on that. So with that in here, let's create another shader, a Lambert. And now we click here on File, so bring in our file. So click on 2D File node here. And in Maya 2011 it always creates this projection and the place 3D node. I don't need that, so let me delete that. So here with the file node selected, hit Control A, turn off that filter and bring in our TGA texture. So that was the outer ring texture 2, TGA. And now with that Lambert here in place, so we hover over that file texture and middle mouse and bring it over the transparency channel here and drop that in. So what that does is it puts the alpha channel here on the transparency, and that's exactly what we want. So that's gonna make sense later on. So now we create another material. We need a chrome material, so we take a mental ray material and take again the MIA material. So let's set the MIA material with a preset here to chrome. And now what we want to do is we want to connect the chrome shader and the Lambert here. Yeah, we want to connect those with that layered shader. But you can't drop in that MIA material here into that layered shader. That's not going to work. But there's a way to go around this. So you go here to Maya materials and you create a surface shader. With that surface shader, yeah, we here selected, we take our new chrome material and middle mouse and drag it onto the out color of that surface shader. And what we could do now is say, okay, take the layer shader here, and then we drop in our Lambert. Then we can delete the default one here, and then we drop in the surface shader with the information of the chrome shader in it. And that's exactly what we want. So now we have the layered shader, which is going to be our outer ring chrome shader. Okay, so with that shader created, let's drop it onto the outer ring. And there you go. Alright, so far so good. I think I'm going to pause this video, and yeah, we will check out in the next video how that looks and what we have to do left here. So see you in the next video.